Welcome back, I'm Patrsha and we are here at the Battle of Malta 2023. I'm joined by Jonathan Raab. Welcome.
Hi Patrsha.
How are you feeling today? Excited for jumping into a couple of tournaments?
Well, I played the satellite earlier. I didn't do too well in that. Only lasted about a round or so. It's very much a turbo, quick fire event that. But I'm here to play the bounty this afternoon, and I'm going to play the main event tomorrow.
Bounty is always fun, the bounty hunting.
Yeah, no, absolutely, for sure. If you can take, a few bounties early on, then even if you don't make the money, sometimes you've covered your buy-in and it feels like you're free rolling, and you can have quite a lot of fun with that. If you get a stack early on, you can bully the short stacks and try and make it worthwhile, but it's very easy to make mistakes in those situations, get too greedy for the bounties, so try and balance it and just hope to get lucky in the first few encounters.
Jonathan, what inspired you to get involved in the poker industry? Because you've been in there for quite a while, right?
Yeah, I've been working in poker for about 20 years. Originally, I was working at one of the first online sports betting companies in the UK, Blue Square, and people I knew were people like Neil Channing and players like that at the time. And poker became popular when Late Night Poker came on Channel 4 around 1999, and it was around about then I played my first tournament in a casino, luck boxed my way to winning it, and from then on in I was hooked like so many people and enjoyed the game. I already worked in the industry. I worked for a sports betting site who wanted to develop poker. They saw I had an interest and said, would I be the person to drive them forward and launch their poker site and then manage it? So that's what I did for a few years. I then went on and ran some poker tours actually for Grosvenor, the GUKPT. I helped create that tour, ran it and helped run it for a few years, and then moved to Poker Stars and ran several of the regional tours that they were doing, like the Eureka Poker Tour. In recent years, I've been doing just some consultancy and some writing, getting more involved in the media and content side of poker again, and really beginning to enjoy it again after a few years not really playing much.
But we see you around, so you also decided to come forward, man behind the scenes, man at the table.
Well, yeah, I always, even when I started working in poker 20 years ago, I was always playing as well. And so, it helped me to try and understand what players want, what a customer might want, and trying to implement that in when I was on the other side of the table from an operator's point of view. So, yeah, I think that most people who really want to be involved with poker from a working side have got some sort of passion for playing it as well.
Would you recommend for the beginner players, for example, any websites, any useful tips?
Well, certainly it's very rare to go to a restaurant these days without checking out TripAdvisor and seeing if where you're going to is good or a dud. So definitely check out the rules and figure out some of the basics of how to play before you go, or else you'll be the fish getting eaten by the sharks. I've been doing some studying recently. MTT Poker School is a good one. If you've already know the game a little bit and you want to take it to the next level, but anybody can Google any basic site and they'll have some information for beginners for how to play. But read it carefully and remember that if you play for free money, like play money, it's not the same as real money. It has to hurt a little bit when you lose in order to understand where you might need to get better.
Yeah, it's always interesting. There is no proper recipe, right, for how to manage the bankroll, when you play at a poker tournament, for example. You have to take ups and you have to take the lows.
Well, goodness me, if anyone's got any tips for how to manage a bankroll, I could certainly do with it. Everyone struggles with certain areas of the game, and I think most people actually probably don't put aside a proper bankroll to play with, and they just play with money that they have here and there lying around. It gets mixed up with their everyday expenses. Beginning to see, having done a bit of training recently, you've got to try and separate it and treat them differently.
Overall, Battle of Malta experience, you obviously been to other poker tournaments. What would you say that is the key point that separates Battle of Malta of other poker tournaments, for example, in Europe, world?
Well, I mean, I live in Malta. I've been here for 9 years, and I think it's a great island to come and play poker in. And where else in Europe are you going to get 30-degree weather when it's nearly November? Even if it was in November, it'd probably still be this temperature. Malta's got so many great poker events going on now. It's a great destination, and it's great that I live here now. And I only live about 1.5 miles from this venue. I can walk into one of the biggest events in Europe from home, and long live the poker events in Malta.
Well, thank you for chatting with me. We wish you best of luck at the Bounty and other tournaments you're going to maybe jump in, because we have still a long week to go. And yeah, thanks.
Patrsha, if you play as well, good luck too.
Yeah, maybe playing ladies event, you never know. Thank you.